Katie, thank you. Tonight in Operation Crime and Justice, some last-minute changes to a new state law holding nonprofits liable if immigrants they help commit crimes. Back in March, Fox 17 News first pointed out local concerns over homeless shelters potentially being punished for helping essentially get people off the streets. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar is now in studio with more on the changes to this law and how it will really affect nonprofits. Karen?
Scott, homeless shelter leaders were in shock to be included as a part of the legislation to hold charities liable for migrants' crimes. But an amendment was added after we shed light on their concerns in our previous coverage. The change clarifies the legislation applies only to nonprofits offering long-term housing to undocumented immigrants, not overnight shelters.
Across the volunteer state, nonprofits will now be liable for knowingly providing long-term housing for migrants who end up committing a crime. Representative Rusty Grills is the co-sponsor of the bill that Governor Bill Lee signed into law in early May. Grills tells me it's for public safety and Tennessee residents need to follow the law.
Ultimately, what we're doing is just making sure that nonprofits are not out there signing leases for illegals so they can stay in this country illegally. Living in the shadows of the law and helping them circumvent the law.
Initially, the bill's language read that all charities would be held accountable for migrants' crimes. That prompted outrage among those providing homeless shelters, so lawmakers adjusted the bill. However, some places helping domestic violence survivors and churches are still on the hook. Scott Huey is a pastor for Bellevue Presbyterian Church. He tells me NGOs are just trying to do good.
And I'm disappointed that the law passed. The church has always had a special place for those who are oppressed.
The new law would also apply to services provided by the Tennessee Immigrant and Refugee Rights Coalition that has been aiding migrants during the THP ICE operation in the Nashville area. And Open Table Nashville, a nonprofit connecting people experiencing homelessness to long-term housing. The new law has teeth. It allows victims of a migrant's crime to sue non-complying nonprofits for damages.
And we're a nation of laws, we're a state of laws, and we want to make sure that the people here in Tennessee are protected by the law.
Huey is conflicted.
I'd have to prayerfully consider which way I would lean, but I would lean toward obeying God's law, not man's law.
In your eyes, what's God's law?
Again, I think we are to help people in need. At the same time, I want to be a good law-abiding citizen.
Representative Rusty Grills tells me his district does welcome immigrants in Tennessee as long as they live and work here legally. Reporting live in studio, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.